y'all, it's me Alex. Today I am super excited because I am doing a collab with one of my favorite YouTube humans. It is my friend Mia from Mia's Virtual Vanity. She does a lot of videos that are makeup positive but are also very critical of makeup, which I really appreciate. If you like a lot of the styles of videos that I do, she does a lot of conscious consumerism type videos and talks about a lot of the issues that plague the beauty community, but also does a lot of like Project Pan and videos like that too. You would really like her channel. So today we are going to do the overrated, underrated makeup tag. This was something that I believe it was created by Georgia Harris and Biohazardous Beauty, and I've seen a couple other people do this like as a collab, so it's like, hey, I would like to do this with my friend Mia. So that is what I'm going to do today. I have most everything for just about any category, so I'm just gonna get into it. Okay, so the first category that I have to decide on what is overrated and what is underrated is makeup brands. So for the overrated product, I said Urban Decay. Now this might come as a surprise to you because I do actually really like a lot of Urban Decay's products. However, they've kind of become more overrated to me in recent years when they've done more of a focus on their neutral, natural makeup and kind of went away from the original image of their brand. Their original image was things like the electric palette and bright and fun colors, and now they're kind of really milking the naked palettes for all they're worth. And that's not what brought me into love Urban Decay, and they're also discontinuing a bunch of my favorite like products from them and what made me kind of love them in the first place. So I wish that they would kind of like slow it down and kind of bring it back to their roots just a little bit. The underrated product for the makeup brand category is Strobe Cosmetics. I actually have a few Strobe products here. Now Strobe Cosmetics only does eyeshadows right now, but I actually have 3 of their palettes. One of them has a broken shadow, so I'm only going to show you 2. And that is their American Horror Story Hotel palette and also their Creepy Cute palette. Now the American Horror Story series of palettes was actually what got me into Strobe Cosmetics. As you can see, these shades are absolutely gorgeous. They're such good quality. Their shimmers are fantastic, which is largely what they do. I'm gonna take 2 of my favorites, which are the red is Addiction Demon and the green is Checking In. And you can really just see how gorgeous and pigmented these are because they go on just as beautifully. And then they have their Creepy Cute palette, which was their first foray into matte shadows. And I just love it. These are so creamy. These shadows practically blend themselves. So that is one thing that I just really love about them. And I really can't wait to see what they do in the future. I just don't feel as though they get enough love for all of their amazingness. Okay, the next category is makeup brand collab. The overrated product I feel as though is the Morphe and Jaclyn Hill palette. I might get a lot of hate for saying it, but that is kind of what I feel. I'm very attracted to a lot of the colors in it, but I also feel as though a lot of the colors are kind of repeats, and I'm also just the kind of person like, even if the shadows are really good, I never need that many shadows all at once when I'm going to do my makeup, so I don't need that. But my underrated product for that is also a Morphe collab. Surprising, right? And that is the Morphe and Kathleen Lights palette, which my palette is actually over there. I know that I have that in my current Project Pan because I'm not like entirely chill with Kathleen Lights anymore. But that was something that when I got it, I genuinely really enjoyed it. And it was a nice smaller palette, which is very like different from Morphe. And the shadows were pretty decent quality, and I don't feel as though that got a lot of hype when I feel as though that it should. So yeah. Okay, so there's also one for makeup releases, which I didn't really have anything, so that's not something that I'm going to go into, but eyeshadow palette. The overrated product that I'm going to say is the Too Faced Chocolate Bar palette. Now yesterday I was doing a makeup lesson for a friend and I was using this palette on her, and like these shadows are really nice. They're very pretty, and like I did buy this during the Sephora VIB sale. It's just something that's really not my style, and while I'm glad I have it in my collection, it's just not something that I feel as though is like up to all of the hype of what other people say it is. So it might just be a personal preference type of thing. I'm not saying that it's bad, I'm just saying that I'm not getting as much use out of it as I had expected to. Now for the underrated product is the Urban Decay Naked Smoky. Now this is one that I'm upset that Urban Decay discontinued. Granted, because they're discontinuing all my favorites. But this palette to me is absolutely gorgeous. I'm trying not to blind y'all with the packaging. But I love these colors. This is kind of like the one cool tone palette that Urban Decay really has. I know that they have their Naked 2 palette, but I feel as though this can give you a more diverse range of looks. Whereas from a lot of the people that I've heard who have the Naked 2, you kind of just come out of it with one look. So I know they discontinued it because a lot of the people didn't like they didn't care so much for these like glittery shades. I didn't mind them. I'm just the kind of person who, if something's a little glittery or if it has a little fallout, I'm just gonna do my eyeshadow before I do my foundation because that's just how I roll. That's just how I make things work. I love these tones. I think these are so gorgeous. I still use this whenever I want to do like a fun going out kind of look. So I'm sad that this was apparently so underrated that Urban Decay didn't care to keep it around, but it'll forever be in my heart. Eyeshadow formula is the next one. So for the Overrated eyeshadow formula, I do have to go with Too Faced. I also have their Cat Eyes palette, which I actually really love. That was the first high-end eyeshadow palette that I bought. I hear a lot of people rave about Too Faced eyeshadow formulas, and I feel as though like it's really good for neutral shades, but the one disappointing shade in this was like Candied Violet because it wasn't a very good purple. And then I got their Sugar Pop palette because hello, this color scheme is just something that is so pretty and it is so very me that I thought I would use it a lot more than I did. I prefer my colorful shades to be a bit more creamy and pigmented than this kind of is, and I feel as though I kind of really have to build it a lot. I'm showing Blue Raspberry because that was the one shade that I was really friggin' pumped about with this palette. I'm still keeping this around. I'm not sure why, probably for sentimental and makeup keeping reasons. I do pull this out occasionally, especially for like macaroon or macaron. I think for the kinds of eyeshadows that I like to wear, the Too Faced formula, while it's nice, it's decent, it's blendable, it's not my favorite. Don't really care for it. And for the underrated eyeshadow formula is Strobe Cosmetics again, because both their mattes and their shimmers have just been really, really good to me. They blend so well. There's a little bit of fallout on the shimmers, but again, if I like it enough, I'm just gonna do my foundation afterwards. They're just really good, really blendable, really pigmented, and I know Strobe Cosmetics is an indie brand, so they obviously don't get as much hype as big brands like Too Faced and Urban Decay, but they deserve the same hype that Too Faced and Urban Decay do. Okay, so the next category is eyeliner. I would say for an overrated liner, I think the Kat Von D Tattoo Liner is pretty overrated in my opinion. I have always used her ink liner when I would use her makeup, and I like that one a lot better. I'm just not a person who really likes brush tips, and also there's a fact that like, I don't know, I prefer a liner that doesn't just come in one shade, and like her tattoo liner only comes in 2 shades, so that's just a me thing. I like the option, you know, they're not just to be like black or brown. I'm just not a brush tip person, because it just like phrase and felt tip to me is so much better and easier for me personally to work with, so not my thing. Okay, well I can't find my underrated product, but my underrated product is the NYX retractable eye pencil. I use their just like mechanical pencils because I really don't care much for sharpening pencils. In like grade school, I wouldn't use pencils that you had to sharpen. I preferred mechanical pencils because there were so many things that could go wrong with a pencil sharpener, and I still agree with that when it comes to eyeliner. And their retractable eye pencil, it comes in like so many different colors. I usually just get the black, but I like having that option out there for if I did ever want to switch out my eye pencil colors, because I usually do more colors in liquid liner than I do in pencil liner, if that makes any sense. And yeah, it's just really nice. It's not anything that I'm like, wow, this is the best thing I've ever tried, but you know what? It's really good. And I think I'm the only person on the internet who uses it, and I'm fine with that, but it's just good, y'all. And for mascara, the most overrated mascara, in my opinion, is the Too Faced Better Than Sex. I don't understand why people like it so much. Like, the brush is pretty fabulous, but the formula is so dry that it just flakes all over my face. I'm not here for it. And for the underrated, I'm gonna go with the Urban Decay Perversion Mascara. I know a lot of people do talk about this, but I feel as though it's kind of fallen off the radar in recent years, but I love the look of it. It's a nice, like, wet mascara. It feels a little weird to say, but it's a really nice formula. I really like it, and it gives my lashes like that nice fluffy effect, which is kind of what I usually go for, so yeah, it's really good. Brow product. To me, an overrated brow product is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Wiz. That was actually my first ever brow product, and like, yeah, it was pretty good. I like bought refills of it for a while because I didn't know what else to use, but then I realized that there are like brow products that are cheaper / easier for me to use, and I could get more value for money out of it because I have naturally pretty thick brows, as you can tell. And so to me, a brow pencil for like the kind of brows that I have is just a lot of work. So for me, that's just personally an overrated product. An underrated product in that category though is the Milani Brow Gel. I used to use this all the time when I was a blonde. I haven't repurchased it since, simply just because of the fact that it doesn't really, it's a little too light for my hair right now, but as you can tell, I got a lot of use out of it. It's probably all dry now, so I don't know why I keep it in my collection. It's been like a year since I've had brows that I can wear this with, but like, hey, I kept it around just for this video. That's exactly what I'm gonna say. But it's really nice, and one thing that I've discovered is really good about this, and it's kind of my litmus test for how good a makeup product actually is both me and my mom love it. Me and my mom have absolutely like different tastes when it comes to makeup, but she and I both have gotten a lot of good use out of the Milani Brow Gel. To me, it works just as good as the Dip Brow. I hesitate to say that because I haven't used this in a bit, and with the Dip Brow you do get a lot more product, but I think it's really good. And if you're looking for something that is Dip Brow-esque that is cheaper, then this would be something that would be really good for you. So foundation, this is kind of a fraught subject for me because I've stopped wearing foundation. I just wear BB cream right now, and this is actually kind of why. So when I moved up north from Virginia, my skin type like completely changed, and like no foundation worked, and I tried a bunch, and that's how I know what's overrated and what's underrated. So the overrated product is this crap, the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Foundation. Now I love Wet n Wild, so when I say this crap, it is done out of love and respect for Wet n Wild because their old foundation was really good, and I think they might still make it, I'm not sure. This was absolutely horrible on my skin because I'd heard that it was really good for like combination dry skin, which is what I was having when I was trying this out, and it was really bad for that. And so I tried it with all of the different combinations of like primers and setting sprays and setting powders, and literally nothing worked for more than a day. Every time that I thought I had it figured out, the next day I would do that same combination and it just wouldn't work. So yeah, this was not fun. I did not enjoy it. But on that flip side, I do have to say for the underrated product is the Wet n Wild Coverall Foundation, which they used to have and I can't find anywhere anymore. If they still had that, I probably would wear foundation. I found that's like pretty universally flattering on all skin types, and it's just a nice thick full coverage foundation. It comes in a little squeezy tube, and I always had a really easy time with it, and I wish that they had like kept that and expanded their shade range. You might be able to find it off of the Wet n Wild website, but who am I kidding? Am I going to make an order specifically from the Wet n Wild website just to get foundation? No, I am not. And it was like $4. I used to even be able to like find it at Five Below. It was really good, but apparently that fell off the face of the earth, like half of the makeup that I like anyway. Primers. The overrated primer in my opinion is Smashbox Photo Finish Primer, like their silicone-y one. It's nice, and I think that's kind of the primer that started it all. It's a lot of money, and it's not my favorite thing in the world. Like, it's okay, it does what it does, but it's not like super excited or hype. But the underrated primer is actually an eyeshadow primer, but I'm gonna bring it up. It is the NYX HD eyeshadow primer. This is what I use on my eyes all the time. I think I'm the only person out there who does, but it's so good. It is such, like, I did a video about 2 years ago about it where I tested this against the Urban Decay eyeshadow primer potion, and it is literally the exact same thing. So it is just so good, and it's like, this is like $6 and the Urban Decay one is like 20. So yeah, you should get this one instead. It's very, very good. I love it a lot. Face palettes. The overrated face palette in my opinion is the Kat Von D Shade and Light Contour Palette. Yes, I have used this for years, but I also feel like to a certain extent contour palettes, I've learned that contour palettes are contour palettes are contour palettes. To me, there isn't much of a way that you could particularly go wrong. As you can tell, it's something that I've loved, but I also just feel as though something less expensive probably would have done the same thing, and I probably would have gotten as much use out of. I think I was just in it for the name when I first bought it. It was between this and the Anastasia one. Like, those were the only two big contour palettes that existed at the time that I got this. So yeah. An underrated contour palette is the Wet n Wild Mega Glow Contouring Palette. This is like a duo, and I use this whenever I do like an old drugstore video, and it's just really nice. The contour is really nice, and so is like the highlighting powder. It's just like genuinely good. I wish it did come in more shades because I think there's like this and like one other one and maybe a deeper one. Yeah, I wish it came in more shades, but the quality of this is really good. As you can tell, I do enjoy Wet n Wild. It's like just really nice and pigmented and creamy and easily blendable in terms of like a contour shade. So yeah, I think it's really good. The next category is blush. For the overrated blush, I have to go with the Tarte Amazonian Clay Powder Blush. At least in kind of rediscovering this one, I realized that the quality wasn't there like I thought it was. Like, I bought this blush because I didn't know how to do blush, so I was just like, you know what, everybody else loves this, so I'm gonna give it a shot. And it's just like, it was really cool at the beginning when I first tried it, but now I'm just like, there are better things out there. That's what's going on with that. An underrated blush, that also might be something that is so underrated that it's getting discontinued. Thank you, Urban Decay. Is the Urban Decay Afterglow blush. I am going to complain about that for the rest of my life if Urban Decay discontinues all my favorite products. But I have it in Rapture. This is what I have on my cheeks right now. I broke it out specifically for this video. I want it in other shades too, but I think I might have missed the train on that one. It is just a perfect texture for a blush for me, and it comes in a really nice shade range. There's a bright red one, which I think might be the only one still available, but it's this beautiful mauve tone blush, and it's like just pigmented enough to show up, but it's not so pigmented that you like end up putting too much on in one shot, which is what I care about with my blush. Normally I like things to be like super pigmented, but with blush I like that to be something that can really be built up, and Urban Decay has a really nice mix of that with their blushes, so do appreciate that. So highlighters, the next category. I don't have an overrated highlighter because I feel as though all of my other highlighters are like appropriately rated, but for an underrated highlighter is the NYX Strobe of Genius palette, especially the shade that I've hit pan on, which it doesn't even have a name, but this is what I have on my cheeks right now. As you can tell, I'm like glowy AF. This is such a nice little palette. The only shade that I don't care for is that one, but I think that could look nice on someone who is not me. And yeah, this is such a nice little palette. A lot of people were raving about it when it first came out, and for good reason, just because it's really nice. And I think this one in the middle also makes like a really nice like blush topper too. So it's really inexpensive, but it's a really good highlight that like nobody talks about anymore. Okay, and now we're down to the last two things, which are two different kinds of lipsticks. So the first category is bullet lipsticks, and so for overrated bullet lipsticks, I am going with the Bite Beauty Amuse Bouche lipsticks. Now I have two full sizes and a mini, and I do enjoy the lipsticks that I have. I have Kale, which is this really pretty like dark green, and I love that. I love that shade. And I also have Thistle, which is this like greigey shade. Again, beautiful. I do enjoy it. And then the mini one in Chai that they gave out for like birthday gifts at Sephora. Again, beautiful color, and if they weren't so expensive, I would buy them. I would buy it in a full size. But that's my problem, is that they're really good lipsticks, but they're also $26. But I'm not sure if there's something that to me personally is worth $26. Like, I think it's worth $26 if they have a really cool and unique shade like Kale, like the beautiful dark green. It's not something that I would gravitate towards buying for like an everyday nude or like a red lipstick, because there are other formulas out there that to me are just as good, if not better, that are less expensive, if that makes sense. And for an underrated lipstick formula is the Blackheart Beauty lipsticks. I only have 3 of these, and now I will say that the black one kind of sucks, but I do love their like, this one is in the shade Blood Red, and I have one more somewhere that's more of like a wine shade, but these are from Hot Topic. They're like $5 and they're really good for what you can get. They come in a bunch of like different shades, like all kind of Hot Topic kind of shades. So yeah, you can get like a nice little variety. They're very comfortable. They fade a little bit faster, but to me they're pretty good quality, especially for the price, and like nobody talks about them. So yeah. Okay, so for liquid lipsticks, the overrated liquid lipstick I have a bunch of, and it is to me the Wet n Wild liquid catsuit lipsticks. Now I have a couple, like the ones from their mermaid collection. They're a bit difficult to reapply, but I really like them. Like the colors are gorgeous and I love that. And I love their teal one. Like again, if a formula isn't my favorite, I will still go for it if the color is nice enough. But especially with this dark shade Video Vixen, that one is so like patchy that I feel like I got it to work the first time I used it and then like never again. So I don't know what is wrong with it or if something's wrong with me that it just doesn't work. The formula is pretty decent and it wears really well, but my problem is reapplying it makes it really, really uncomfortable to wear, and I like my liquid lipsticks to be something that I can reapply over and over if need be. And these just kind of aren't it. I feel as though I would have to take it off completely and then apply another layer of lip balm and then put this over top of it in order for me to be pleased with how my lips feel after reapplying it. So not my favorite, but an underrated liquid lipstick is something that I also have a bunch of shades of. This is what I have on my lips. It is the Makeup Monsters liquid lipsticks. I have a bunch of these because this is like my favorite, this is my new favorite liquid lipstick formula. You would know that Kat Von D used to be my holy grail. This is my new holy grail. Okay, so my computer actually froze while I was filming, but this is the last thing I have to do. So I think I was in the middle of raving about how amazing the Makeup Monsters liquid lipsticks are. Basically, they are my new favorite holy grail liquid lipsticks, and yeah, they're a really nice thin formula, but they're super pigmented. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this is Hit the Dirt, this really pretty like mauve-y nude. This is Cornucopia, which is what I have on my lips right now, that pretty red orangey shade. This is Luna, which is my all-time favorite liquid lipstick shade ever because it is the same name as my cat and also because the shade is really gorgeous. This is Hook, Line, and Sinker, which is this really pretty hot pink, which I didn't think that I would enjoy otherwise. This is Wipeout, which is my all-time favorite blue lipstick, and I love pairing this with like a warm tone orangey red eye or also with like a yellow eye look. I just like that contrast and it's so pretty and so flattering. This is Juniper, which is actually the first liquid lipstick that I bought from them, and it is like oddly flattering despite being an olive green. I didn't think I could wear olive green, but hey, this is gorgeous. And the last one I have is Darkness Prevails, which is this perfect matte black. So as you can tell, I kind of have a thing for these liquid lipsticks. They're quite good. So yeah, that is the end of my overrated, underrated makeup tag. Please go check out Mia's video. I think she's just such a wonderful human and sassy and funny and all of the things. So I can't wait to see what she comes out with. I'm so happy this turned out so good. So anyway, thank you so much for watching. Please be sure to give this video a thumbs up if you liked it and subscribe down below if you want to see more videos from me, and I will see you all in my next one. Hope you'll have a wonderful day. Bye.